You know, when I call these people smart, the press always says, he said he was smart. I'm supposed to say they're not intelligent people. President Xi in China controls 1.4 billion people with an iron hand, no drug problems. You know why they have no drug problems? Death penalty for the drug dealers. Death penalty, right? You want to solve your drug problem? You have to institute a meaningful death penalty for drug dealers. A drug dealer, and you, by the way, you have it worse than any other state proportionately. I don't understand New Hampshire, for whatever reason, you have a worse drug problem per capita than any other state. Nobody's explained that. Maybe you talk to the governor about that also, by the way. Why is that? You have the worst drug problem per capita in the entire nation. You have an unbelievable fire department and police department. They do such a good job. They spend most of their time saving people from overdoses and other things. Your police here and your fire here are incredible, I have to tell you. I met a lot of them backstage. I said, you know, they spend a lot of their time. They spend almost most of their time on that, but they're incredible, the job. Yeah, you ought to talk to your governor about that, because that's something that something should happen. But you want to really stop it. You know, when I was in the White House, I would set up blue ribbon committees. And I'd get socialites. Everybody wanted to be on committees, right? You know, they'd call in from Park Avenue, from Fifth Avenue, New York. Oh, I'd love to be on the committee, any committee. Well, we're going to put you on a blue ribbon committee on stopping drugs and drug abuse and stopping the caravans from pouring. Oh, what's a caravan? They had no idea. And they'd sit around, very prestigious people, and they'd talk for a little while, and then they'd get onto society and social and where are you going to be tonight? I'm going to be dining at Le Cirque tonight. But, you know, they go into, and it's not the way. You can't do it. The only thing they understand is force. And if you want to stop your problem, and you have the single biggest problem in the country from what I see in New Hampshire, I don't know why, proportionately, you need the death penalty. If you give the death penalty to drug dealers, you will have no more problem. You will have no more problem. You know, we cut it down 21%, and that was great. I did that without doing this. When I was in China, and I told this story a couple of times, maybe you've heard it, but I was with President Xi, strong man, and I said, you don't have a drug problem, do you? No, we don't have no drug problem. We don't have drug. He looked at me like, what the hell? Of course I don't. 1.4, think of it, 1.4 billion people, no drug problem. I said, what do you attribute that to? He said, quick trial. I said, quick trial? What's quick trial? We give quick trial. We give very quick trial to drug dealers. If somebody's selling drugs, we give them a it's a one-day trial. They give them a trial, and if they're guilty, which I would say probably 120% of the time they're guilty. They're guilty approximately 120% of the time. But they execute, and they have the death penalty for drug dealers. So now if you're a drug dealer, you'll say, you know, I think I'm going to take a pass on this particular country. Let's go to the United States, where they don't even give you a summons, all right? They don't do anything. And that's why we have the problem. If you want to do the real job, and a lot of people, I just don't know if our country's ready for it, but what could be worse than losing, I think, 350,000? You know, you don't hear those numbers. They always say 100,000. They've been saying 100,000 people for the last, 15 years, would you say? It's 100,000. Oh, yes, we lose 100. That's a lot of people. That you take your largest stadium and you fill it up twice, right? No good. But it's 100,000, they say. But even if it was 100, but it's not. It's 350,000 people you're losing, and you're destroying your homes. You ever see what happens to a family, a father, a mother, when they lose their son or their daughter to drugs? That family is destroyed. 10 years later, they're destroyed. It can never be the same. And these people do it. The average drug dealer kills 500 people a year. Think of it. The average drug dealer over the course of his or her life will kill and I think that's a low number, but they say kills 500 people a year. And they don't mention the families that are destroyed to go along with their children, and seniors and everything else that are killed. I mean, a lot of people are killed, but you think of it in terms of young people. But the average one kills 500, so why wouldn't you do the death penalty? It's actually humane if you think about it. Why wouldn't you do it? And Singapore does the death penalty. They have no drugs whatsoever, no drugs whatsoever. Other countries do them. Many countries do it, but they have no drugs whatsoever. And we're becoming a drug haven. You know, China many years ago was being taken over by much smaller countries because they were all drugged out on the poppy fields, the drugs, heroin, different drugs, but they were all drugged out. The nation was drugged out, and then along came a very powerful leader. You know who that is? And he said, no more. And from that time pretty much until now, they've been strong, but they were all drugged out, and I mean, our nation's becoming that way, okay? Our nation's becoming that way. You look at our nation, that you almost say, how does it survive when so many people are absolutely sick from drugs and drug overdose and all of the things that go with it? Our nation, remember, China was taken over by many different forces, much smaller, much weaker than them. Now they're strong. But our nation's not so much different. We have a large percentage of our people are drugged out and won't help us in terms of making America great again. We have to help them, and we should help them. But we could stop this scourge if we would do it properly. And just out of curiosity, it's interesting, we're all friends. The death penalty sounds harsh. Thank you very much. But the death penalty, you know, it's funny. They say, oh, he's conservative. It's not that I'm conservative. I have common sense. You know, I want to have a border. We want to have free elections. We want to have low interest rates. We want to have school